been a while since I've put up any YouTube stuff, so I thought I'd do a quick update. I just got back from Texas, took my puppy, my 6-month-old puppy, and we tubed down some rivers and really good time. Anyway, my shop is a total mess, which means that either I've made something or I'm in the process of changing something. And in this case, I am changing something. Man, I've been so influenced by the videos that I've seen by this guy, Bryan Woodworks. He lives out in Santa Clarita, works out in that area. And just watching his videos and seeing how he builds cabinetry in a small shop just has really inspired me to get more into built-in cabinetry. And to do that, usually you have to have dedicated machine setups. One thing about building cabinetry is you've got to be able to bore line holes efficiently, because if you're building 32 millimeter Euro cabinetry or anything that's based off that system, you really need a line boring machine. I tried to get by with an LR32 Festool system and just found it's awfully tedious to have to set up this jig, check my alignment all the time, and then make individual cut. Bryan uses a Delta 32 325. It's a manual 13 spindle line boring machine. When I saw his shop and I saw him use it, I had the impression that it's a pretty, it's like a benchtop type of machine that you can just pick up and move around. Reality is it's not that light. So it's kind of a semi-permanent installation, however you choose to do it. What I've got here is I've got my line boring machine, and it's resting almost on the hardware on the MFTs. So here's my line boring machine. It doesn't interfere as is with my MFT. I can drop my rail. I can make my cuts. I can have a long piece. I can set up another fence. Where's my other fence? Here it is. So if I need to go to the right, keep in mind I have a table saw and I also have a panel saw. So I can break down material and whatever. This is just for basically squaring up an edge or shortening a shelf or something like that. You just pull this guy forward, and then it's ready to go. Now, I don't have a table here, so where's my table? Well, my table, I made it so that my table is like this. You can see there's a back plate on this. This registers it between my MFTs so it won't move. So, anyway, the big deal for me is this is a heavy machine. I don't want to have to pick it up and move it around. Sliding it is not that big of a deal. Sliding it back and forth. But picking it up and relocating it around my shop is a real problem. So maybe this will give you an idea if you're struggling with a small space. Whether it's a panel saw or it's a table saw, or other stationary power tools that rely on accuracy, the tape system that you use on the tool is very important. And I would go a step further and say that if you're gonna use any sort of measuring tape system on your tools like that, you should standardize them so that they're all the same exact type. So in my case, I'm converting all my stuff over to this Fastcap PMS tape. It's based on this tape right here. It's a Pro Carpenter, and it reads. So you can see it's got millimeters at the bottom. It's got 32 increments for cabinet makers. It's easy eighths, so you can read the fractions. And it's just a great tape for around the shop. And then what I did is I got these from Fastcap. These are two-sided
And basically what they are is they're flat versions of that same tape. But you can see I've cut this one because I took the other part of it and I already installed it on my panel saw. This panel saw was really tough to read before. I was very frustrated by I just never got consistent results. But now that I've done this and I've blackened out my indicator, I get nice cuts that match from this saw over to my table saw, where I also have the same exact tape. That's what you used to see. Just compare. You imagine working all day and staring at that yellow tape. Just hard to read, it's faint, and this is how it came on my saw. That's just so much more easy to read. And here's a little project I did for the family since I've been spending so much time in the workshop. I built some narrow stairs for my older cat, helps him get up to his food.